Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to talk about the movie called Shame, which is written and or co-written and directed by Steve McQueen, starring Michael Fassbender and Carey Mulligan. Um, it got a lot of praise, and it was NC-17, I think, for the sex or whatever in it. So you probably heard about it. Basically, Michael Fassbender is a sex addict who. That's the whole movie. I don't know. It's exploring his character and the shit that he goes through. Very well made, very well acted. Michael Fassbender in particular he's great in it. Carey Mulligan, she's okay, she's good. I mean, I like her, she's cute. I liked her in Drive a lot. Here, it's a little melodramatic, but Michael Fassbender, he's great in it. He really sells you on this guy who just he, it's weird that the film asks you to feel sorry for somebody who's getting laid all the time when you might feel sorry for yourself because you're not. So, uh, but it does a good job showing like how it could be a terrible thing for this guy. Uh, I wouldn't complain personally, but the thing about the movie, it's well made and it's well acted, but it's also just a total downer for like 2 hours or an hour and 40 minutes. I think it's an hour and 40 minutes. If you see, there's versions of it that are cut that are a little shorter, like 10 minutes shorter. Um, yes, it's well made and well acted, but it's not fun to watch. And now that's not to say that every movie has to be fun or there can't be depressing movies. I'm sure there's plenty of movies that are depressing that I think are just brilliant. I just felt like this one was a little overrated. It's an hour and 40 minutes, just downbeat, you know, no humor at all, ever, anywhere. It's just, I'm not saying movies have to be fun, but this movie's not fun, and I feel like it was a little overrated. Um, a big problem is that, it's just this guy, he's a sex addict, and, he like hates himself and stuff. He doesn't have any real relationships. And then like the catalyst for the film is basically his sister showing up and she wants to stay at his apartment and because her boyfriend's a dick or whatever, and she's clingy or she wants to develop her relationship with her brother. I don't know. And that's a big part of the movie too, besides exploring Michael Fassbender as a sex addict. And you never really feel like you understand the nature of the relationship between him and his sister, Carrie Mulligan. Um, it's just you're just like, well, he resents her, and they both kind of hate themselves, but you don't know why he has animosity towards her, like what happened to them. This is a lot of movies that do this now. It's just like, well, something bad happened in the past. Well, what happened? Give me something. Give me something to hang my hat on and go, okay, that's the problem. And here it's just like you don't understand. Like she's a little intrusive and clingy and this and that, but it's his sister. She should want to take care of her, and instead he just like is like, she needs to get out of my life, and so you never really come to understand why the relationship is so strained, and you never really understand why he's a sex addict, or I mean, and most guys are like he's like the type of guy that could just walk in a bar and get laid, and you're like, that would be great. I would love that. I would love that ability. And here you're just supposed to be like, oh man, that sucks for him that he can get laid all the time, but he can't make an emotional connection. Well, I guess, but honestly, the movie, like I said, it's well made, but I just didn't get much out of it. I just thought it was downbeat, depressing, um, and there were flaws. It was not a great film. There were, you're kind of still like, well, it doesn't. Um, there's no payoff really to what's going on here, And then another thing, well, and then this is not a criticism of the film, but just does it earn its NC-17 rating? I think it kind of does, but for most of it, I was like, I've seen boobs before, I've seen dick before movies, and those weren't NC-17. So I mean, but there is one sex scene that is near the end, and it goes on for a good couple minutes. Um, and it is almost pornographic, but it's not like, I don't get the whole NC-17. If you're an adult, you're an adult. If you can see an R-rated movie, I don't think this is much worse than sex in R-rated films. I do think that there is a bit more, and it is a little more graphic than we're normally like used to seeing in feature films. But you've seen it all before. It's just there's just a little bit more of it, and maybe it's because it's in a disturbing way, or maybe it went on for like a minute and 14 seconds instead of a minute and 10 seconds. Like a minute and 10 seconds is okay. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just if you're going to see the movie because of that, you're not going to be happy. Like if you're going to a movie just to see sex, you're not going to. For one, it's there's like this depressing undercurrent through all the sex, anyways, and he hates himself for it. So you're not like, oh, this is a sexy scene. It's kind of graphic, but like I said, it's nothing you've never seen before. Unless you're like really want to see Michael Fassbender's dick, then don't go to see it because it's NC-17. I don't think you should ever just see a film based on its rating, or I don't think you should avoid a film. I don't think you should not see a horror movie because it's rated PG-13 or whatever. It's the wrong reasons. You're going in with the wrong reasons. Go in because you want to see a good or bad movie. Who cares about the rating? This movie, I don't think it's a bad movie, but like I said, I didn't have fun with it. I don't think it was as great as people made it out to be. Michael Fassbender, he gives a great performance. You know what? Maybe he deserved an Oscar nomination, but this film, it wasn't like a Best Picture contender for me. So I'm gonna go 3 out of 5 for the very downbeat and kind of depressing Shame. If you've wanted to see a movie about a sex addict, this is a well-made sex addict film. But how many of those are there? So, anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Maybe next time I'll talk about Rampart, starring Woody Harrelson, which I liked a little bit more. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll try to be, more frequent or whatever on here. But later.